Are we in any danger?
Yes.
How many? Yes. One for yes. Okay.
She was using drugs. She was out of it, and she, you know, womphed.
In this.
Oh my! What? I was right back.
Where did that come from?
Here.
Oh my! Oh! Did you hear that? Look at the baby.
What was that? That was a baby's cry, that.
Right here. Oh, but look at the rubber.
Is this? Oh. Get it. Oh, sorry.
You're right.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So Midsummer Most Haunted Live and our final night here from Llanelli, and so far it has been absolutely amazing. We kicked off on Saturday night at Park Howard and that was an incredible night. Last night at Llanelli House was unbelievable. Physically frightening, intimidating but incredibly informative, and tonight things are going to get even more intense. Yvette and the team are at the most haunted castle in Wales, and in time-honoured most haunted tradition, Carl and Ian are about to undergo a unique but extremely dangerous paranormal experiment. We're going to find out more straight away as we cross live now to Yvette and her gallant team. Here we go, Yvette!
Standing outside of the location this evening, our final location. It's Kidwelly Castle. As you can see, it's still light outside here. David and Kieran are with me. The whole crew is here. Carl and Ian are at this moment getting ready to undergo this paranormal experiment, which is, I would not want to try this at all. It's really, really frightening. The whole place has a fantastic atmosphere. When it gets dark, I think a lot of people are going to be frightened.
Thank you, Leslie. So, a big night in store. Carl and Ian are going to undergo the kind of privations, the kind of torments that people in the Middle Ages and medieval times went to. Okay, Kieran... Oh, we're going to go back to them, I think. Okay, Kieran, can you hear me?
Kieran? Yeah, he can hear you through me. I'll be the spirit guide.
Okay, you're his medium for tonight then, Yvette.
I'm his medium, yeah.
Let's have an upside. What do you think of the weekend so far? How's that been for you?
What do you think of the weekend so far? How's it been for you?
It's been fantastic. It's been absolutely amazing. I've already said that there has been some phenomena that I can't actually explain at this point in time. So I've no idea what to expect tonight based on the last 2 nights.
Okay. And are you heading off now, Yvette, to the oubliette to show us a bit more of that dungeon where Carl and Ian are going to be incarcerated later?
Do you want me to do that now, or do you want to come back to us?
Why don't you head off and show that to us now?
Okay, all right. This place is unbelievable. It really does have a fantastic atmosphere. You can see, you haven't actually been able to see the outside of it yet, but we're actually coming through the gatehouse now. It's really cobbly underfoot, and there's some really dark and horrible dingy places, not particularly nice at all. I know David's already been picking up stuff. As you can see, it's a really tight, enclosed, horrible spaces. There's a horrible musty smell as well. You get a real sense of the things that would have happened here hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And here are our 2 very brave paranormal investigators. There's Carl and there's guest psychic Ian. Now, you've got your overalls on, okay, and this is the oubliette. Oubliette, as Leslie will confirm, is a French word which basically means to be forgotten, and they would have thrown prisoners down there hundreds of years ago and they would have been left to die. So the experiment, Carl, do you kind of want to explain what you're going to undergo tonight?
Well, we're going to be shackled basically. Our hands and feet are going to be shackled together, so we are actually going to be here we're going to have a helmet put on, a metal helmet. It's a very heavy claustrophobic thing. We can't get it off. It's going to be locked on. So basically, we will not be able to move. We cannot see, we cannot hear, and we can just barely speak. We've worked out a way that we can actually communicate. That's it. It's complete sensory deprivation.
Okay. Now, Steve, if I can just ask you to bring in and start putting maybe Carl's helmet on and shackle him up, and while I'm speaking to Ian, what are you hoping to get out of this experiment here?
I'm going to get a lot of residual energies, because the biggest emotional stain is death and suffering, and that went on in there 150%. So that's going to be the stuff I'm going to have to get through.
And what are you going to try and do? Are you going to meditate first? Are you going to use your guides? How does it work?
I'm actually going to meditate, and I'm just going to see what's presented to me straight away, because already I'm feeling extremely anxious, because I can pick up on the suffering that's happened there already, and it's making me feel quite sick at the moment.
Are you aware of any activity? Can you sense any paranormal activity down there?
Not yet, no. I'm getting flashes every now and again. One of them is people literally picking you up by the shoulders and throwing you down.
Really?
Which is not a pleasant feeling, because I'm just about to go down there.
All right. So, of course, I know for a fact everybody in the studio will all want names, information. I know it's going to be really, really hard, because there would have been hundreds of people thrown down here. So that sort of information we would absolutely just love to receive from you.
I'll see what I can do.
What do you think the worst thing is that could happen to any of you?
I think if there is a spirit being down there and it starts to blend itself with any of us, similar to the thing that happened to you yesterday, then there might be a problem.
Okay, now this is the helmet, Steve. Are you all right, Carl?
Just 2 seconds.
So you've hardly got any room at all, so that's it.
Oh, sorry, Steve, go on.
Right, okay. So this is the helmet that's going to go on. Ugh. And there's enough space, obviously, for breathing and things like that, Steve, yeah?
Yeah, there is, yeah. It's got air holes and ear holes,
And we've
so
got...
we should be able to hear us.
And cameras?
Camera on the top,
Yeah?
so we should be able to see
What's going
Carl
on?
can not see.
Okay, and you're going to... Right, all right. Are you okay, Carl?
Yeah, I'm just going to try and...
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, can you start putting Ian's stuff on now, Steve?
Yeah.
All right. Gosh, you look absolutely awful. David, what's going through your mind as you're seeing this happening?
I'm really, really concerned for the pair of them. It just looks so hideous.
Okay.
Absolutely hideous.
All right. We're gonna leave you there now for the moment, and we shall see you later on. You all right, Carl?
Yeah. This is probably
God, it looks...
the worst I've felt in my entire life.
Wait till you go down there and then all the lights are off. Oh my God. Oh dear. Right, okay, shall we... I feel awful leaving you. Right, we're going to go off now, and it'd be interesting to see what David picks up on.
Good luck.
Come on then, good luck then. We'll go back out here and give everybody at home... Good luck, guys.
Good luck. Yeah.
We're going to give everybody at home kind of a good old look at exactly what the castle looks like out here. So as you can see...
And already I'm nervous. Ian Shilliter, of course, is about to be shackled and bound hand and foot and have that torture helmet, that iron helmet placed on his head. Okay, and they cannot hear what I'm saying at this moment. So I can tell you that Ian shared with me yesterday one of his precognitive dreams. That means a dream that looks into the future. And that's why he is very nervous. I'm going to say no more, but if it comes true, we are in for an extraordinary and terrifying night. We're at the castle of Kidwelly for the vigil, and here's why.
Kidwelly Castle, built to defend the road to West Wales, dominates a long disputed region. This magnificent structure stands as a chronicle in stone to over 3 centuries of intense warfare. Even the chapel was designed for defence. When Owen Glendower's troops attacked in 1403, it was defended and held by a tiny garrison, a testament to its impregnability. With a massive gatehouse housing a sinister dungeon pit, snaking stairways and soaring towers, its walls abound with stories of spectral sightings. Does a sentinel stalk the battlements? Is a hooded figure observed within the chapel? Do ancient faces stare up from the prison chamber? Can a figure of a knight be seen lurking within the southwest tower? Will these apparitions make themselves known as we attempt to unlock the secrets of Kidwelly Castle?
A castle with a blood-drenched history, immense psychic and paranormal possibilities, and to tell us more about the factual history of the castle, our historian, Leslie Smith. So Leslie, we've had a fantastic time here in Wales. This is a hugely, hugely historical country. What might be in store for the team tonight?
It's a place, obviously, most particularly of suppression initially, to hold the area in place, if you like. There's lots of talks about a monk because there's monasteries nearby, so we may get some hooded figures about. I'm always a bit suspicious of those, though, because we didn't have umbrellas, so most people had hoods on cloaks. I think we're going to find a place where there's a fantastic energy of domination. And that's reflected, of course, by what's going to be happening to the two boys tonight. We've also got a fantastic princess, a great heroine this area admires greatly. She's often seen in the area, but unfortunately headless, so I'm not sure how they recognise her. But I need to be careful how I say that, because she's very much revered in this area.
Now, Carl and Ian, as we speak, are being dumped in that oubliette, shackled and bound with that headgear on. Did every castle have that kind of oubliette, that place of forgetting?
Not everyone did, and in fact they're quite rare really. Also a bottle dungeon, which is another way of describing some of them, where you could come out again. The idea of an oubliette is you were dumped in and literally forgotten. They're very distressing places, you know, and quite panicky, and although people might think that these folks feel very safe with people around them, that mask makes you breathe in very rapidly. You've got to fight with hyperventilation. They were designed to make people frightened, and guess what? It will.
Okay, we're checking back with Carl and Ian later in the show. Right now, though, let's find out what's happening on the interactive front with our old friend Julian Clegg.
Thank you. Hello, thank you, Paul. Good to see you, and it's great to be back. Now, interactive last night, absolutely incredible, and let's see how we're going to do tonight. Already messages coming in, by the way, to wish Carl and Ian all the very best on the experiment. Now, as ever, I want you to look at the webcams on our website, livingtv.co.uk. Here are the webcams. Now, interestingly, number one, there it is in the oubliette, the forgotten chamber. It's blank at the moment because obviously it won't go live until we're ready to set up the experiment completely, but that is webcam one. Webcam two is in the chapel. Let's have a look at it there. That's the chapel. If you see anything unusual during the evening, I want you to let me know. Webcam 3 is in the northwest tower. So if you spot anything there, any unusual phenomena, then get in touch, please. Webcam 4 is in the southwest tower. There it is, the southwest tower on that webcam. Now, if you see anything, I want to hear from you. Now, you can go to the website and click and get in touch on livingtv.co.uk. Also, our brand new message boards. These are incredibly popular, I'm delighted to say. They're back up and running again tonight. There are 7 message boards, and basically it's like being on an online forum on your mobile phone as you sit there watching the programme. You can chat to other viewers as we go along. 7 chat rooms to go to. Chat room 1 is called Talk to Julian, so you can talk to me and the interactive team, and I will try and get back to you as the show goes on as well. Chat rooms 2, 3, 4 and 5 are the webcam chat rooms. Chat room 6 is the vigil chat room. That's to talk about the vigil tonight. And chat room 7 is what we're calling off topic. Now, to get involved with this, text haunted to 88600. It costs 5p a minute to access. You'll register and then away you go. Simple as that. And of course all the terms and conditions on that and everything else on our website, livingtv.co.uk. Now, once again, we've got a big TV to give away tonight, I'm delighted to say. 32-inch LCD TV and a 5-speaker surround sound system. Really nice prize. Who's going to be our winner tonight, I wonder? Well, if you'd like to win that prize, all you have to do is get in touch with the answer to our question. Also, 10 runners-up walking off with this brand new DVD, Top 50 Moments. It came out today and the crew will sign it. It's a real collector's item as well, worth ringing right now to win the prize. Here we go with the question. Who is the team's makeup artist? Is it A, Kath, B, Sally, or C, Carl? If you think you know the answer to that, you dial now our new number this weekend, 0900 021 0000, or if you're a digital satellite viewer, press your red button on your remote control right now. It costs £1 to enter. You must be over 18, by the way, to do that as well. We announce the winner on your say between midnight and 1, and who knows, that great LCD television could be yours. So get involved, and we'll talk a little bit later on. Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Julian. Yvette and the team are moving through the oppressive and sinister Kidwelly Castle. Carl and Ian are heading for a night of psychic terror in a dungeon with no exit. More of that after this. Welcome back to our final Midsummer Most Haunted Live from right here in Llanelli. We are returning now to the scene of tonight's vigil. It's Kidwelly Castle, and here's Yvette.
Thanks, Paul. Well, we're actually, just to give everybody at home while it's still light, just a general idea of what this place looks like. If Stuart, if you can pan the camera around. At the moment, we've got a ghostly dog barking in the distance. That's the only thing that we can hear. You probably can't hear that, but that basically is the castle. There's lots of turrets, lots of little rooms off there. But David, what sort of, you know, obviously there's going to be, I'm going to say it for you, battles and things like that, that any medium could come in here and say, oh, there's bloodshed, there's this, that and the other. I know you're going to want to get past all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are obvious things. When you first come into a place like that, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get those residuals. What I have done here is I've used a technique where I've not only opened up, I kind of invoked in a way, and I've kind of made myself really obvious on their level. And what I do is I then try to pull in the ones that are to me alive, for want of another word, so I get a fix on individual characters and where they might be. So
well,
I've done that.
Let's just have a little walk through this gateway here. And as you can imagine, this place, when it's dark, is going to get really dark. The sky it's covered, so you know it's going to be quite dark later on. There's no moon or anything like that. As you can see, it really is sort of an old ruin out here. So spiritually, David, sort of what sort of ghostly phenomena or people can you pick up on already?
I think already I'm really aware of that there are a couple of things that I'm sensing really, and one actually when I was meditating this afternoon.
Right.
It seems to be attached here. There's a monk.
Okay.
One is a monk, and he doesn't seem very friendly to me. He's one of those facey ones, you know, that shoves it right in your face, and a kind of gnarled face look. So, kind of looking forward to meeting him later. I'm sure he's here. Do
you pick up on a specific area where he would be, or is it just at the moment you can't pick up on that?
No, what I did initially is kind of pull them here towards me. So I wanted them to come to me, or certainly they don't physically come. It's just you know I'm seeing them, but here I don't have that kind of, you know, I can't command them to come in front of me. But certainly him, I would say that there is a very strong female character associated, and she seems more outside the castle, but it's hard to pinpoint. Battlements, it's a classic space to find them. Make no apology for that. There seems one active on the battlements as well.
Can you actually see them? Can you describe what they're wearing?
Certainly the monk is in a classic cowl. The woman seems, she seems almost Guineverian in her look. You know, she's certainly initially presenting very well turned out, but these are just images that I haven't managed to latch onto properly.
All right.
The guy in the battlement, very roughly dressed, probably either a bowman or with a staff. You know, just kind of classic stuff, but active.
Okay.
You know.
Now, Richard, where's Richard? Yeah. Anything, just very quickly, because I know Leslie will really want to get to the nitty-gritty. We've only just started.
Yeah.
Any of that would make any sense to you?
Quite a lot of it makes sense already. I don't want to give anything away, but David's come up with some of the stuff that is definitely here active, has been mentioned by visitors, members of staff, and you hit the nail on the head very much so.
Brilliant. Activity-wise, would you be able to tell us what we might experience tonight?
I think we're going to experience, we might get sound because it's that kind of, you know, that kind of place where you're going to get noise, but you might get, you know, the old brushing past as they move past you. I think the female is a wailer, so she might make a bit of noise, but she's certainly a scarer. She seems to have, the only thing I can tell you about her at the moment is she seems to have died in real agony.
Okay.
So I would say that she...
Any part of the body that you'd pick up on, how she died or anything like that?
Not at this stage.
Okay, any names? And also a time period with this monk?
Not with the names. Oh, the monk's quite early, like 1200s, 1300s.
Okay, so quite a way back. Yeah. Let's walk forward, because I actually, now that everybody's got a chance to see what the castle looks outside, I want to go into some of the enclosed areas. And there's two particular areas that are right by the gatehouse that, to me, when I first saw them, I thought, oh my God, they're actually really quite scary. So we're actually going to walk through here. Now, Kieran, just let me ask you, this for me is a very frustrating place to do an investigation, because you're battling against the elements, you're outside, inside, all of that.
All the time I'm constantly looking at humidity levels, temperature, keeping an eye on the weather. I've also got a lux meter looking at the light. All of these things we just have to be very vigilant of when we're doing the investigation, just to make sure none of that is going to be playing with us physically or psychologically.
So next one down here. Poor Stuart has to walk backwards when it's getting really dark. Okay, you alright, guys?
Yeah.
Alright. You alright? Have you fallen down, Ian? Quite a drop. You alright?
Yeah.
Now, as you can see straight away, it really is quite dark and tight spaces. God only knows what poor Carl and Ian are going through already.
Okay.
David?
Yeah.
When you come down here, does anything come at you straight away, or?
Not so far.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Nothing at the
Oh
moment.
my God. Shit. You all right? You got it. You got it. We're really struggling. These steps. Trying to get down.
Are you like that?
Yeah, I'm fine. This is huge steps, and we're going down into. It's like a huge cellar. So just keep.
So even before the vigil underground began, David was picking up on a monk and a regal female figure. I can tell you that the webcam in the oubliette is now up and running. You can take a look at it in a moment, and after this break I'll be talking to Carl and Ian to see what they've gleaned so far. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the final Midsummer Most Haunted Live from Wales, the land of song, of course, and from our experiences, intense psychic energy. Now, this is the point in the show when we normally pick at random a member of the audience to join the vigil. Not tonight, something different. Those of you, which is most of you, who watch our sister programme, Most Haunted Live Access All Areas on Living TV 2, know that we had tonight a battle of the Most Haunted Live superfans. 3 individuals who fought tooth and nail to be part of the experiment tonight, but there can be only one winner. 2 runners-up, 1 worthy winner. The superfan joining the vigil tonight is... It's you, Alison Prince from Camberley in Surrey. Congratulations. Heading off is Sarah, our floor manager, to the vigil tonight at Kidwelly Castle. We'll look after her till she's there. After that, she is on her own. Now, we do need a bit of silence and a bit of concentration now, because tonight we are all participating in a unique paranormal experiment, something very dangerous, which we urge you not to try and emulate in any way at home. Carl Beattie, Ian Shillitoe, have been shackled hand and foot and placed in an oubliette, a dungeon where people in the Middle Ages were left effectively to die. They have also been encased in an iron mask. It's very close to total sensory deprivation. They're uncomfortable, they're isolated. We have a camera with Carl. They can talk to each other. I can talk to Carl, but not often. And we're now going to find out whether Ian picks up on any of the psychic energy of people who died in those horrendous circumstances. Now, this is the first for British television. I'm now going to see if I can talk to Carl, who's encased alive in a dungeon with Ian Shillitoe. Carl, can you hear me?
Yes, Paul, I can just about hear you.
Now, you've been down there for some time already. How are you feeling?
Very disorientated, very scared. It's very hard to concentrate on anything. I can't see, I can't hear, only what you're saying with my earpiece, that's all.
Now, I know you're very sensitive to the environments around you. Are you feeling anything different? Are you picking up on anything? Are you feeling intimidated, oppressed? What's going through your mind?
I'm feeling very intimidated at the moment. I feel even though I know Ian is right next to me, I can touch Ian. I feel that I'm on my own in here. Something earlier touched me on my arm, my left arm, to which I asked Ian if it was him. He said no, and the funny thing is he couldn't touch me anyway, he's shackled. But I know Ian's picking up on some things and some feelings too.
Okay, can you ask Ian then, on our behalf, what it is he's feeling, any information he might have gathered already?
Okay, Paul, I'll just do that now. Ian, I don't know if I'm looking at you, but could you just say what you're feeling, what you're picking up on?
Okay. There's two things. The first thing is I get the feeling there's been a dog down here at some point, where some guards or tortured people have thrown somebody down here and also thrown a rabid dog down. With a bit of a game. So it's been done on the slide, sort of worse than torture. And they watch this dog maul this man to death.
So a dog has been down here and mauled a man to death for fun?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's one step beyond torture as far as I'm concerned. Not a pleasant day.
I don't know, Paul. I mean, that sounds horrific, and I hope I don't feel anything like that down here, but what do you think?
It's a kind of place of sadism then, as well as torture, as well as that kind of almost mechanical torture. It's a place where people inflicted pain for their own pleasure, which sounds hideous, Carl.
It sounds awful, and I know that the more I'm down here, we have no idea of what time it is. We don't know how long we've been down here, which is kind of strange anyway. I don't know what's going to happen. The longer we're down here, the worse I feel. I know I'm feeling very depressed. I do feel like I want to get out, but I want to stay down as well. So, and I know Ian's feeling the same.
Okay, Carl and Ian, as ever, we do applaud and appreciate your courage in these circumstances. We're going to check back with you regularly. Obviously, the whole proceedings are being monitored for health and safety, for your health in particular, both of you. So please, I urge everyone, do not attempt to emulate in any way, shape or form this experiment at home. Thank you for the moment, Carl and Ian. We're going to check back later with Yvette and the Vigil team. Right now, though, we've had a few bits of information from David and that sense that maybe that oubliette was something even more sinister than a dungeon of death. There from Ian. Let's find out what historian Leslie Smith makes of that. Leslie.
As usual, David has surprised us again, or I should say I'm not surprised anymore because his accuracy is so fantastic. He said a monk. Now, if David said a monk, he meant a monk as opposed to someone with a hood on. A Benedictine priory was founded near the castle in 1114. There'd be frequent visitors to the castle because Henry I had entrusted the castle at that point to the very powerful Bishop Roger of Salisbury. So he's bang on with the monk.
What kind of era are we talking about there? Is this the Plantagenets?
Well, yes, we're talking about Henry I, you see, so again, 1114, that's right, very, very early on, absolutely right. Then 1136, at last, or I should say at last, early on, we've got this fantastic girl. Gwenllian was a beautiful Welsh princess, that's who he's talking about.
And David mentioned a Guineverian character, like from the King Arthur's.
Well, that's a romantic image of her a little later, but she was actually more like Boudicca, Boadicea some people say. She amassed Welsh troops in large numbers to come and take the castle away from the English for the Welsh. And she approached with her 2 sons and troops, and I'm afraid that they killed her outside of the castle. They hacked off her head. She died in agony, he says. And indeed, her son died with her. Another son was taken to London, where he died horribly, to teach the Welsh a lesson. In fact, Gwenllian, however, remains a great heroine throughout Welsh history, 900 years later, and she's revered in the area. The site of her death, however, had to be searched afterwards because her phantom wouldn't rest until they found her skull, which had been separated from her body. And when it was put together, they say she's more rested. But David, with his contacts, has obviously woken her again, or she's been waiting to speak to us again.
Now, Ian's picking up more on feelings and on intuitions than hard information. The question is there anything you can substantiate on that as a place of not just torture but sadism?
Well, suppression is a great deal to do with saying if you do that, you're going to get some of that. And of course, the situation is if you think you're going to be chained up, dropped in a pit and have a mask on your head, you're inclined to be more able to behave yourself, shall we say.
Okay, we are absolutely live, Leslie. Thank you for the moment. I'm hearing that there are some amazing things happening on the vigil. We're going right back to Yvette and the team now. Yvette.
Please make yourself as big as you can
Okay.
I want to communicate with you.
Keep talking, David. Just let me explain what's happened. We're down here in the
Please
cellar.
communicate with us.
What's happening is we found a cold spot for no... we can't understand what's going on. If you look at the thermal imaging camera
Please
now,
stay
Stuart will
with us.
get on it. As David is talking, the cold
stay
spot
with
is
us.
increasing. Can you see that? Keep talking, David.
Please stay with us. I know you're here. I know you're female. If you're female, make the gold spot bigger.
Oh, you can feel it now.
Start to build that energy. Just make that coolness, the temperature drop for us. If you're female, make that temperature drop for us, please, Mom.
Oh. Who are you getting, David?
This Guineverian character. I can't...
It's dying down, it's dying down.
Please stay with us. Please stay with us.
Go on, it's reacting to your voice, David. Keep going.
If you can stay with us, please, I have to humbly ask you to stay with us, but you appear to me to have... There's been a battle and it seems to me your head's been removed.
Go on, keep going.
Please, please, if that's true, if your head was removed in battle, please, please, I know you're giving me the images, but please make this area cold. Please make it cold. I know you're giving me the images for which I thank you, but please, I need to show some phenomena.
It's nearly gone. It's nearly gone.
Yeah, she's fading.
She's fading.
Yeah. Please, 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 I know you'll come back to us, but please stay with us.
Kieran, can you try and explain that? Don't you think that's weird?
I could try and explain it. It's going to be very, very difficult.
It's gone.
Stay with us.
It's just completely gone.
It's gone.
She's gone, yeah. She won't leave us, though. She'll be here later.
Who is she?
I don't know. She's going to give us... I mean, what I heard was the... as her head came off. I mean, she was dressed in battle gear. And she was dressed in battle wear. So she's like a Baudelaire type character, very strong woman who would take no nonsense. And I think from a royal bloodline, I think she was a princess at least, not a queen.
You're all right, Richard.
Right.
Okay, he's right. He's on the right. Okay.
Okay.
What time period would this have happened with her? You mentioned the Guineverian style dress.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how she first appeared, but not then. She was in more of a battle. She was in leather in that one. I would think about the 12th century.
Name or an initial with it? I'm sorry, David.
I know the problem is, having mentioned Guinevere, it's a very similar. The names are very similar, so it's not even the Celtic pronunciation like Guinevere. It's like Gwendolyn or Gwendoline or Gwendolyn or I can't get it.
Is that
very, very close?
Okay.
It's close. Okay.
Right. Now, whilst Paul was talking and getting information from Leslie, we do what we normally do off camera, which is where we do a meditation, and we were omming, which also helps David out, doesn't it?
Very much so.
And straight away, we heard a couple of loud bangs in here, and then they seemed to go, and then all of a sudden, Kieran noticed this cold spot in the corner. So I think if we just call out again, maybe we might get something else. If not, I'd like to go across into the other place, which is similar to this, and see if something similar happens again, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to call out, David?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are any other astrals here, or any astral beings, spirit beings who want to talk to us...
Sorry, did anybody hear that?
Yeah. It was a
horn. It was a horn. It was a horn.
It was something outside.
It was a... It wasn't outside.
It sounded more to me like an instrument horn rather than a car horn.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't a car horn.
It could have been some form of battle horn. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, a battle horn. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, which is possible.
Okay.
But yeah.
Go on.
Okay. Yeah, but the only thing I get in this area is...
Who just went,
I've heard that twice. I didn't mention it the first time because you were in the middle of speaking to the studio.
Do you reckon we've got that?
Yeah.
Right, we need to rewind in the studio because that you've heard that twice. I just heard it then. It was a deep.
A very low-pitched male.
Okay, sorry, David.
It's okay. The only thing I've got here is residuals of gatekeepers, of gatemen moving around. Possibly this place as well as used for storage at some point. It's not, nothing massive in here other than this astral popping in and out. This female.
Did anybody hear that again? Yes. The horn.
Really?
It is in here. It's strange. It's like it's an instrument.
Is it like an animal horn?
It is similar to an animal horn, yes. That sort of thing.
Okay, let's
ask for it then.
Go on then.
If that's you making that sound, could you please make it again?
Kath, did you just go? I heard that.
I keep looking. It's like somebody stood next to me, and I keep looking, and
keep going, Dave.
If there's any astrals here, any spirit people here, please make yourself known to us. Communicate with myself. Whoa! What was that?
Where did it come from? I thought that came from behind you, John. There's nothing in there.
Just leads to outside, doesn't it?
Yeah. If that was you, do it again. Throw something again. Bang on something. This is somewhere we should we come back here?
Yeah.
Let's make our way up the stairs and through into the other place, which is similar to this, but it's smaller. And it'd be interesting to see if we get the same sort of temperature thing happening in there. That was brilliant. That was really interesting.
Is still nothing there, Kieran? Put it back on.
Okay, come on, let's make our way.
So, cold temperature evidence of some kind of body. David has mentioned a beheaded princess from the 12th century. Things can only get more intense on Most Haunted Live. We'll be returning very soon to Carl and Ian in their oubliette. Join us after this.
Show yourself to us if you are here. In any way, touch one of us. Touch one of us.
Welcome back to Midsummer Most Haunted Live in one of the most ambitious nights in the programme's history. Yvette and the investigations team are conducting a vigil at Kidwelly Castle. Carl and Ian are incarcerated, bound hand and foot in metal masks in a dungeon, and we're welcoming your input on our webcam. Some amazing stuff coming in. Time to hear from Julian Clegg and the team. Julian.
Thanks, Paul. Now, interestingly, as soon as webcam 1 went live, lots of you got in touch to tell us what you could see. So let's go through some of the things you've been saying. Webcam 1, obviously, in the oubliette, the forgotten chamber, the dungeon of death. Alex in Birmingham keeps picking up the names William and Simon when he looks at that webcam. It's very exciting in the oubliette, so lots of people seeing orbs around Carl and Ian, particularly in between their two masks, including Jonathan in Ruislip, Paul in Bristol, Angela in Bolton. Also, there's a number of sightings of a figure standing behind Carl, including Michael in Newport, Mark in Liverpool and Christy in Swansea. And Valerie in France, hi Valerie, she can see a monk who appears to be kneeling and praying next to Carl. In fact, all the action seems to be around Carl at the moment. And Jamie in Sunderland has seen lots of flashing lights around him. And Mark in Liverpool and Tony in Newcastle have seen a mist moving around him as well. So keep those messages coming. livingtv.co.uk is where you can see all 4 webcams. If you see anything unusual, I want to hear from you on Interactive, please. Now, don't forget our competition tonight, your chance to win yourself a top-of-the-range 32-inch LCD TV and a 5-speaker surround system to plug into it as well. It can't be bad. If you'd like to win that prize, and of course if you're runner-up, you'll walk off with the new DVD, Most Haunted Top 50 Moments. It came out today. They'll all be signed. And I want to add, we're going to throw in tonight, especially with the telly as well, your chance to come to Most Haunted Live in October. So we're going to add that in, plus travel to the location and accommodation. So you get the television and you get tickets to see our Halloween special. Isn't that great? All you have to do is answer this question. Who is the team's makeup artist? Is it A, Kath, B, Sally, or C, Carl? Now, if you think you know the answer, dial this number now, 0900 021 0000, or if you're a digital satellite viewer, press your red button right now on your remote control. It costs £1 to enter. We'll announce the winner on your say after midnight. Now, also, I want you to get on the facts, please. Now, this is our Psychic Arctic remote viewing experiment. Can you tell me or draw for me the spirits that are supposed to haunt Kidwelly Castle? Now, if you've never done psychic art before, this is how it's supposed to work. Take a piece of paper, take a pen, close your eyes, let your hand involuntarily move on the paper, and then send us your faxes, please. Now, here's the number, 01554 755 380. What are the spirits that haunt Kidwelly Castle? Let us know on Interactive, and I'll show you the pictures a little bit later on. Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Julian. I'm fascinated that people are emailing and texting us about their sightings on the webcams around Carl. Earlier I mentioned that Ian Shillito, our psychic medium, had a precognitive dream. They can't hear me at the moment. That dream involved danger, threats to Carl, so I'm very nervous about that. Let's get back now, though, to Yvette and the vigil team at Kidwelly Castle. Yvette.
Ready? Right, okay. We're coming down into a second similar cellar, or, well, it would be like a cellar, wouldn't it, David? It's just that's what it kind of feels like. Yeah. These big steps. We're already down here. You've heard a couple of thumps, haven't you? Yeah. How, this is a lot smaller than the other place.
Great to small.
Do you know what? I don't like it down here.
No, I don't. I feel nauseous in this space.
How does everybody feel?
Much worse than this one. Has a strange feeling about it. Damp, horrible. Don't like it. Don't want to stay here.
You're right. No, something's just threw something in my eye.
Something's thrown something in your eye?
Yeah, like grit. Just it didn't drop. It was thrown in my eye.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Someone just chucked it in my eye. That's an old astral trick. Oh God, my eyes gone.
You're right. Do you want a tissue?
Yeah, please, Kath.
It's weird because at the same time that happened, I turned round because I thought someone was standing right behind me and there was nobody there. There's a certain feeling about...
Did you just say that? Was that one of you?
No.
Oh, right, same one.
What? What?
That's just we're grown. Yeah.
Really?
Tell me what you saw, Kath, as well.
Where you stood now, David,
Yeah.
we had all the lights off and I saw a white light flash.
Okay.
Right where you're standing.
Yeah.
How do you feel, John?
I don't like it.
We've just been here for a couple of minutes waiting, waiting over the break, and it's got a horrible atmosphere, totally different to the other room.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear it?
Mm.
It's interesting because we're quite close to the oubliette here, aren't we?
Yeah.
So energetically, you could. Do you know what I mean? It's a wall's nothing to a spirit.
How are you feeling? You've gone really quiet.
I don't feel very well. I feel really sick. I feel really nauseous. And this thing, it just chucked something in my eye. If I didn't know better, there's two things that come to mind. Sometimes, what was that?
Did you hear that?
No, I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, should I call out?
Yeah. No, you call out. I'll concentrate. We'll see.
But there's somebody here with us now, and I think there is somebody with us now. Please, can you throw something? Can you bang on the floor? Push one of us? Make a noise? I know you're in here.
What's that?
I heard that, like a whistle.
Bang, bang.
Come on, do something else for us. Do you not like David? Do you want him out? What? What?
It was the light tap or...
Yeah, it's
something
right
gently
there where our feet.
I thought something was dragged.
Whereabouts?
You sure it's not the cable?
No,
No. We stood on the table.
What, like a dragging?
Yeah, like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, who are you? Talk to us.
Another knock. Another knock down here.
I thought that was Stuart moving.
No, it wasn't. I was moving, but it wasn't my feet.
Give us another sign. Can you push one of us? Throw something? Are there any stones in here? Yeah, there are. Right, do you want to do this experiment? Kieran and I were talking before. Do you want to do it and explain?
Okay. We were talking before about a famous case in Wales, the Cardiff poltergeist, where they actually were getting stone throwing, and what one of the investigators did was actually threw some stones and said, right, if you're going to throw stones, I'm going to throw a stone and throw it back. And he threw a stone and it was thrown straight back.
Okay.
So we're going to try the same thing.
Try over there, we're away from it.
Okay. To throw a stone, if there is actually anybody there, I want you to throw it back. Throw it back at me.
Is there anybody here, David?
There's one female, and I think, you know, the thing in my eye is an old, sorry, as we stick my finger in my eye there, sorry, is an old trick for, there would have been hundreds of people here throughout the centuries. This is a wise woman or a witch, for want of another word, and I don't mean that in any derogatory sense.
Like a white witch type.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is not a warning for me. This is something that she knows I would associate with it. So she's not malevolent at all. She's not evil in any way, shape or form. She wants me to know that she's around.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why. I think it may be, I'm kind of hoping it's to help me. That's what I'm asking of her. But it got my attention. She certainly got my attention.
Okay. Kieran, do you want to throw another stone to see if we get anything else? Is that somebody banging then?
Okay. You would throw another stone. Throw it back. Make the noise.
So the vigil is continuing, and Kieran is getting involved in experimenting with possible poltergeist activity. Let's backtrack now with our historian Leslie Smith, because David gave us a couple of very, almost astonishingly accurate endorsements of what you were saying. The princess was beheaded, was some kind of leader, even the name emerged.
And interestingly, he also used the word Boudica, which I hadn't seen in any reference work about Gwendolen at all. Another thing that was very important, which I view as crucial evidence, he described her in battle dress in leather. We had, of course, a type of mail then, we had a type of armour at this point, although much cruder than it would become later, but it would be too heavy for her. She almost certainly would be in leather. And so I found that fantastic, and there's not a single illustration of her at the time that suggests this would be the case, but it's very likely to be accurate.
And so got the whoosh of the beheading.
Fantastic, and her agony of her death, maybe she may have witnessed her own son's death before her too. That's another consideration as he fell near her.
And this was early 12th century.
Absolutely. So when we've got this going on, another thing we should say, earlier I said the Plantagenets, but in fact I was being idle. It's 1216 the Plantagenets started, so it's before then. So think about it as still being the Normans. When I say I was being idle, I needed to have a second look.
You were wrong.
I was.
Hold your hand out. Naughty girl.
But
okay.
at least I admitted it. No, I needed to check again, and in fact that's the case. It's before the Plantagenets.
Okay, it's getting very intense out there on the vigil, and of course in the oubliette. Carl and Ian are entombed in a very, very fierce form of a dungeon where they would have been left in ancient times to be forgotten. They're shackled hand and feet. They are wearing metal helmets. We're going to hear from them right after this.
Say that again?
Man's inhumanity to man has no bounds, has it?
Welcome back to our final Midsummer Most Haunted Live. Yvette and the team are at Kidwelly Castle conducting a vigil. Some amazing information emerging already, but in a unique and terrifying experiment, Carl and Ian are entombed in an oubliette, a tiny dungeon. There is no real exit without assistance. They are shackled hand and foot, and they are buckled into iron masks. Let's find out what's emerged so far. Over to you now, Carl. Can you hear me?
I don't know, but I feel worse here than I did in that coffin. I can't even get up. I can't even move. I'm so uncomfortable. It's like my head, it hurts. I feel like somebody's right next to me. Ian, what are you picking up on, mate? You've been picking up on a lot.
I have, yeah. The surprising thing for me is there's one particular gentleman that was down here who wasn't, as we imagine it to be, somebody, a prisoner of war. He was down here for his belief in what I don't know, but he was so passionate about it. He was thrown down here. He's given me some references that even for me trying to do mediumship down here is surreal because my senses are all over the place. I'm finding it very hard to think. I'm finding it very hard to sit up straight and get past all those sort of emotions that, you know, my physical emotions that I have just being in this position.
So what do you think, because you mentioned a fire earlier, you mentioned people betting, and you mentioned people being eaten by a dog.
Yeah, there was basically, I think there was a fire here at some point. The people that were down here, the men, there seems to be a lot more men than women. There was a massive fire going on. They did actually survive, although some of them were overcome by smoke down here, obviously. There was betting going on upstairs by three guards that were doing it on the sly. The whole system here was completely different. It was the torture system was very organised, and these were doing it on the sly. They actually threw a dog down here just to watch this poor man who, I think this was around... Oh! You're right.
Shit, did you touch... No.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
Something's touching me.
Alright, okay. Let's just try and see if we can...
There's nothing there. Is there anything there? You can't see.
I can't see.
There's no one there.
There's a man down here that wants to communicate. I mean, he's trying to give me information on who he is. There's a big old oiling painting, like a Dutch painting, if Leslie can hear me, that style, if she knows what I mean by that. He looks a little bit like Cardinal Wolsey. Big fat face, big hooked nose. I can't get his name, but I believe he was thrown down here for his belief. I think the time is roughly about the 1500s. I know there's much help with that. He's showing me a massive big ledger, which has been locked and been looked at by somebody else, up in a tower somewhere. Oh God, come on, I need some names.
Are you feeling their pain? Do you feel how they felt? Do you feel that want to get out, that need?
To be honest with you, I'm feeling absolutely hysterical. I'm feeling complete panic, but also on top of that, I'm feeling really, really, really angry because it's my belief system. How dare somebody put me down here for my belief system? It's not fair. Do you know what I mean? We're all entitled to have a belief. Who is this person to say that's wrong? You know, to judge me from what I want to do. It's not fair. It's horrible. You know, and they just left me here to die. I don't understand. I don't understand what's the matter with the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm a passionate, caring person, and I've been thrown down here. I don't understand what this problem is. I don't understand.
Did he die down here? Is he?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he here? Is he here with us now?
He's trying to communicate, but he's as if he's just too angry, and what I'm trying to do is to try to tune into that. So I'm getting that frustration in my voice, but I'm trying to sort of calm down and to calm him down to try and communicate with us and to try and tell us exactly who he was. And I can't get away from the name of James, but it doesn't sound like a Welsh name. It's just James. Is that a reference point? Is that his name? I don't know. God, come on.
I'm sure they get that in the studio. Leslie will probably have some reference there, but I'm not. I'm being touched constantly. It's this constant grabbing on my shoulder, my arm.
Okay, if you're the spirit in this room, if you're the male in this room that's communicating with me, that's in thought form, that's trying to touch my partner here, Carl, we're in a position here where we can understand what you went through. We're in a position to understand your pain, your mind. Just please communicate with us further. Give us more validation. Touch Carl again. Touch me. Make a noise. Show yourself in front of this machine.
God, you know, I'm feeling that depressed I could cry. I feel hopeless.
You see, I'm feeling absolutely furious. I'm feeling really angry. I'm like, I think we could be tuning on many different levels here. I mean, I think what you're tuning into is the most interesting thing is that you've seen, clairvoyantly seen somebody over the other side. You know what I mean? Somebody that's obviously been here a long time. I think you're tuning in with that particular person. I'm tuning in with somebody from the 1500s or thereabouts, or there is a connection with the 1500s, who was thrown down here not for a prisoner of war, but thrown down here for his belief system. There's also a further man that was over here that was completely mauled by dogs, by a dog, just for entertainment's sake, which is really not a pleasant way to die. and it's just trying to sort of get over that. And I can't get away from hearing screams in my head. I can't get away from hearing
I feel like I'm going mad. I feel like I'm absolutely going fucking mad.
Well, I think that's what happens. I think it's your senses. It's doing its job, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's doing, you know, you don't know whether... I want to, like, start hitting my head against the wall. You know, I mean, where's the wall gone? I mean, you know, I just want to, you know, you see these trapped animals in cages. You know, I'm getting images like that. I'm getting images of rocking bears. You know, just rocking. So just trying to keep themselves centred in some way.
I want to scream. Can I scream?
Yeah. What's that? How you feeling?
Feel better.
Yeah? Now, what we've got to get through, Carl, is that scream, was that you? Or did you feel the urge to scream?
I felt someone wanting me to scream. I felt I had to scream.
Right, okay. That's good.
It felt like it just had to come out.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't let it get too far, yeah?
I'm going to cut it off there, I think. Do you know, it's weird, my hands are moving. I'm always trying to get out. I'm not going to.
Oh, now I'm hearing... Oh, this is playing with my ears. I could have sworn I heard someone go, shh.
So Carl and Ian there in the oubliette, the dungeon of forgetting, both encased in those metal helmets, shackled hand and foot. And a reminder now, I mentioned earlier on, and I know now Carl cannot hear what I'm saying, neither can Ian. 2 days ago, Ian told me about a dream he'd had. He was obviously nervous about this experience, but he said he had a dream in which Carl became possessed and attacked him. Now, I hope and pray that does not happen, but I am very disturbed about some of the things that Carl has already done down in that dungeon tonight. Obviously, we have a medical team standing by and security. Once again, do not attempt in any way to imitate what you are seeing here tonight. These men have been tested and we are monitoring the situation, but I, for one, are very nervous indeed. Also, we've had some information from Ian. He's sorted through the kind of different residuals he's got in there, and he's given us kind of, what, 16th century, 1500 people, somebody in prison for their beliefs?
Well, first of all, I'd like to address the fire. I think it's got different time stratas, and it's also where he is geographically in the castle. We've got the fire here in 1403, pretty well where he was. A bit further forward, the gates of the castle, they were definitely on fire. A lot of people would have been choking, and it would have been all the distressing things he described.
Some people escaped, but some people did die.
Oh, well, people would. You see, panic as well, and smoke will grip people as well. Don't forget the original castle, I don't know if you're aware of this, would have been made of wood. You see, the very earlier one. The stone stuff came later.
So
but
more
at this
fort
point,
almost than a castle.
yeah, that's right. And in fact, by now it is stone, but it's got the great wooden gates and this sort of thing as well. So we've got that. The dogs being thrown down doesn't surprise me at all. It shocks us, but it doesn't surprise me. Dogs were used regularly for baiting animals and sometimes people who were not in a position to fight back. Sounds like the Romans again, doesn't it? Betting, very commonly, people bet on how long it would take people to die when they were being tortured, although we didn't really necessarily want them to die in torture, we wanted them to speak, or we wanted to make a statement of power. Like I said earlier, do that and you get that.
Would people have ever been exhibited in the oubliette? Would people have been taken around and shown these poor unfortunates?
I think you could offer somebody a bit of money to do it, or you could certainly talk about their distress, and they'd talk about it in the taverns. All sorts of methods were used to repress people, but they were very often about the distress and how long it would take. For some people, it was a form of entertainment.
Now, something that's enraging Ian down there is this person he's picking up on, who seems maybe middle-aged, he wasn't sure on the age, but who's been imprisoned down there for his beliefs. Somebody thrown down for his beliefs. He mentioned the painter Hans Holbein, who did the famous portrait, I think, of Anne of Cleves for Henry VIII. So it's around the 16th century, 1500s. What would have been going on then? Were people being imprisoned for their beliefs then?
Absolutely, because we've got the Reformation. We have Henry VIII, who decides that he wants to marry Anne Boleyn and bear this son, and he's not having Rome telling him what to do anymore. And so consequently, religion changed in the sense he became head of the Church of England. And of course, many people who wished to remain with Rome were having a bad time in this way. And Henry VIII was somebody who got his own way rather well, which means that his laws were pressed very firmly into place wherever he owned an area. And so this person, I believe, is probably something to do with the Reformation. He's refused to accept the new thinking in terms of faith. Maybe the ledger he has is linked with monastic lands, you know, this sort of thing, that are in the area. And so I believe he's there in distress because of his belief links with Rome, but we shall see. We need more. The painting of Hans Holbein, by the way, absolutely perfect description. Thomas Cromwell was the man who was used to suppress the priories, and Cromwell, beg your pardon, he was painted by Hans Holbein. He did have a big nose, but he's not the man who's down there, that's for sure, but he may have been responsible for the man being down there.
More information, I'm sure, on the way. Thank you for the moment to Leslie Smith, our historian. We're going back to Yvette and the vigil. More from you on Interactive. Keep watching those webcams. Keep in touch. We'll be back after this.
Around. Oh, fuck! You're right. Shit, hey, did you touch me? No. Around. Oh, fuck! You're right. Shit, who fuck? Did you touch? No.